Good Saturday afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist KJ Jacobs here at WCNC Charlotte. I hope you guys are getting your weekend started nicely and hopefully you are all preparing for this winter storm. We have been talking about it all week long, but now we are just a day away. Really, we're just hours away because the storm will move in later tonight into your day tomorrow. So, first off, I want to allow more people to log on and hear what we're talking about for this afternoon as we are anticipating this major winter storm to move across the area overnight throughout the day tomorrow. So, first off, thank you guys for logging on. Let's get to what we can expect here. So, this is what we have been talking about already that the biggest potential is going to be sleet and freezing rain. And that's why we have the large shading of pink across the area. That includes a wintry mix. Notice the white shading, that's back over the mountains and the foothills. So those areas would likely have a better chance of getting some decent snowfall. So I know some people are headed to the mountains, ski trips, just wanting that fresh snow. So that will be the case over in the mountains. And things could be a little dicey over the Charlotte area and the Piedmont as well, with the potential for freezing rain and significant ice accumulation. So let's get to your forecast. So you can see more of the graphics and do more planning and preparing for the storm. So we'll take a look now at the winter weather alerts that are in effect. We have a winter storm warning, and that's the bright pink shading. The dark pink, mainly along the South Carolina side for Chester, Lancaster, and Chesterfield County. That's an ice storm warning, and that's anticipation of significant icing, a half to a quarter inch of ice. And we know that, yeah, that can cause a lot of damage, guys. So, yeah, so be prepared for down trees, be prepared for power outages. So if you need to head out this afternoon before it gets too late to pick up some last minute supplies, because getting out on the roads tomorrow will be quite difficult and just downright dangerous. So you're certainly advised to stay off the roads for tomorrow as the system comes together. Let's take a look now at where we stand currently. And this is a look at satellite and radar. This is the bigger picture that shows us that the storm system is back to our west. The graphic just advanced very quickly there. We can go back. And so the storm system is back to the west now, but we are seeing more clouds developing, moving overhead for today. And we'll have cloudy skies, we'll have the cold temperatures for today, and then we'll have the rain, the sleet, the freezing rain, as well as some snow overnight. So here's a look now at Futurecast. So we've shown this on television in terms of we like to take radar out just to see how far, how things are really going to shape up. And notice the pink there. That's the indication of that freezing rain that we've talked about. That's one of our biggest concerns with this type of system, and notice how it's going to overspread the area. Some of you may see some snowflakes early Sunday morning, but by sunrise, it's likely going to transition over to sleet and freezing rain. And that is going to be something that will certainly have a huge impact on what we'll have to deal with throughout the day tomorrow. So just make plans to stay indoors for your Sunday. And notice how the pink shading, I mean the purple shading stays over the mountains, and that's an indication of more snowfall. But this system is going to pull away, but I do think we'll all see snow, but there's going to be a long duration or several hours of mix between sleet and freezing rain. And this is Monday morning futurecast that shows very cold temperatures and will likely have some black ice. So there's a lot happening here with this particular graphic. You're looking at the winter weather impacts for Charlotte, Piedmont, and the top line shows the orange. That's sleet. Notice the timing at the top as well through 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., early afternoon. We'll likely be dealing with sleet. Freezing rain by the middle of the day, a quarter to a half inch of ice out there. Icy conditions during the evening hours is going to make getting around quite hazardous and also scatter power outages throughout the afternoon and the evening for Sunday. So now, if you have to prepare, start charging your devices, your laptops, your iPads, and tablets, and cell phones, making sure that those items are staying charged. And you can still watch us, you can still be in the know, be in the loop with what's going on if you have your devices, if you do indeed lose power. These are the winter weather impacts for I-40 and north. You see the purple shading there. That's mostly all snow and some sleet. And that's mainly, like I said, for I-40 and north. The freezing rain potential is going to be a little bit lower for this particular region, but still getting on the roads is going to be tough. Snow, ice, covered roads, that's likely to be pretty much widespread, especially some of those secondary roads that are not traveled as much and may not be treated or pre-treated ahead of the storm, and power outages are likely to be isolated. So we'll move forward with looking ahead at the weather graphics. So this is a look at the snowfall and sleet potential. I know that a lot of you, since we first started talking about this particular event, wanted to know how much snow are we getting? Well, it's coming down to a trace to an inch of snow in the white shading. You see it there for those of you in Chester, Lancaster, Waysboro, Monroe. Um, you'll have about a trace to an inch over near Charlotte and points west of Charlotte. Gastonia, for instance, will have about 1 to 3 inches of snow. And as we move towards the foothills and the mountains, the snow totals are going to stack up a little bit higher at about 2 to 4 inches, and then getting as high as 6 to 12 inches of snowfall. So that's why a lot of people are scheduling those ski trips. I'm told that a lot of the hotels in the mountains are booked up right now. But we certainly have a bigger issue on our hands aside from the snow totals. We're talking about the ice potential, quarter to half inch of ice, guys. So you want to make sure you take this very seriously and heed the warning. There's an ice storm warning that will be in effect all day on Sunday, even into early Monday for significant icing. So that is something that we just haven't seen in some time. And this will be our biggest winter storm since 2018. And that wasn't that long ago, but it's been a while. So take a look at some of the impacts in terms of ice accumulation. So a quarter inch of ice or less, you want to avoid unnecessary travel, light ice on trees, and scattered power outages. So uh, take a look now at where we stand. And this is likely going to be what we will face here in terms of a quarter to a half inch of ice. And icy roads, broken tree limbs, and numerous power outages. And you couple that with the windy conditions. Yeah, not a good situation. So it would definitely have us, dealing with the outages and having down trees, things of that nature. So just want to make sure we're all on the same page and just aware of the potential with this particular system because it is lining up. There's a lot of agreement with the system, and as we continue to look at the data, all of it is falling in line. Half inch or more of ice, roads will be dangerous, impassable. We know that. Widespread tree damage, long-term outages. Some people could be, in the dark for longer than you may think. So that's why we are encouraging you to, pick up some things and have some things that you may need since you won't be able to go out. In terms of being out on the roads, if you have to be out, here's one example that I wanted to show you guys. We've seen those signs that bridge ices before the road, and that's because the bridge, it's surrounded by the air, so it can actually lose that heating very quickly, and it can get cold and it's going to ice over. So just know the potential for how dangerous it is to be driving on bridges and really to be on the roads altogether. As you can see, some of the graphics here, notice at the bottom there how the cold air can reach above and below the bridges, as well as it's losing that heat quite quickly with that. scenario there. So that's a really good graphic, and I'll post that to social media too, so you guys can get another look at it. In terms of the weekend headlines, today we'll have increase in clouds. We have the cold temperatures, and then we'll have the snow, the wintry mix overnight. And by Monday, we'll have ice likely early, refreezing, and then we'll also have some outages likely that we'll still be dealing with. And we'll take a look now at the 7-day forecast. I believe the 7-day forecast is coming up next. And this shows us that today is, the calm before the storm. Overnight tonight into tomorrow, we'll have the storm moving through. You'll likely see some snow at first and then changing over to sleet and freezing rain. Likely, the freezing rain and sleet will go back and forth between what's actually falling. And that's going to really overspread the area through the middle of the day tomorrow. And we'll also have that ice accumulation. And then as we move towards the afternoon and evening, is when we'll likely have things starting to set in, and it would be difficult to, get out and about. Things are really starting to set overnight. Temperatures are even colder. So make sure you stay safe during the storm. There are a number of tips to prepare for the storm that we have on our website, WCNC.com. There's a how-to winter guide, driving tips, things you can do to your car, a number of things that you can do. And we'll also have additional information that we're putting together now that we'll have throughout today as well as tonight at 11 o'clock on WCNC Charlotte. So I want to thank you all for joining me. I'll go through and take a few questions. Let's see. Watching from Gainesville. See. Let's see. I need sugar mama babies. Yeah, make sure you get your snacks. Someone's talking about snacks. Um, let's see. Cold rain. I guess I'm not seeing too many questions here. Let's see. The wind will be a problem. Someone asked if the wind, Joy, thank you, Joy, asked if the wind will be a problem. The wind gusts are going to be between 25 and 35 miles an hour. So that will be a problem because as we have that ice build up and any wind that comes through, that's only going to add to the problem. So that is something that will be another factor that will play a role in the type of damage we receive from the event. Someone asked how many inches. Again, as you get towards the mountains and the foothills, the totals are going to be much higher. So between 6 plus up to a foot of snow, especially in the higher elevations. But as you get closer to Charlotte, snowfall will be between 1 to 3 inches, but we'll also have a combination of sleet and freezing rain. And if that changeover to sleet and freezing rain happens a little bit sooner, then those snow totals won't be as high. And across, those of you in the Sand Hills, the South Carolina Piedmont, you have a better chance of ice. So we want to make sure you take that very seriously with this event. Are we legit going to have accumulating snow in Huntersville, or is it just going to be ice? There is a good chance that we will have snow, but that snow will be changing over. I do anticipate the snow to change over to a wintry mix, which is a combination of the sleet and the freezing rain. I've looked at the temperature profile, is what we call a sounding, and that sounding consistently has shown me that we will have some warm air mixing in. Therefore, it'll be cold at the surface, but just above the surface, we'll have enough warm air that will allow some melting to occur, and then those droplets would then freeze on contact. So that is one of the more complex sides of the system that we're looking at that makes it kind of tricky. And I know I've talked to some of you on social media that you're very familiar with this type of setup. You're familiar with how the outcome of this type of setup, time and time again, that the mountains, they'll get the snow, and then most of the area will end up with the sleet and the freezing rain. Let's see. Someone said to bring in your pets. strongly encourage that. Making sure we take care of our pets, especially when it's cold out. Um, let's see. What's that snowflake on Friday? So we'll have another system coming through by the end of the week. So if you stock up, I'm not saying go and buy everything in the grocery store, but if you pick up a few things and say you don't use all of them, then you'll have some things for another winter weather system that we may have in just a few days. So just know that, it's not going to go to waste. Pick up things that you would need and that you usually buy anyway that you wouldn't have to run out to get, in really bad weather. In Monroe, the snow potential is going to be very, very low. You may see a few snowflakes, but in terms of snow sticking, the potential is going to be much lower. You will have a chance for more of a sleet and more of a wintry mix. I think that's going to be more of your potential. But I think you will see snow, but I don't think you're going to have a lot of it sticking around, unfortunately. Um, let's see. Shelby. Shelby, I think you'll have some snow as well, but you'll also have the potential for some ice. And I think all of us are really going to have that ice potential. Let's see. 80 more questions. At least on this particular platform that I'm using, I can't see all the questions. Um, but I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will be here throughout the storm alongside the entire weather team. So have a good day. If you need to get out and do anything, please do so because tomorrow your chances of getting out are going to be slim to none. All right, take care. Have a good day. Bye, guys.